consideration in today's world. And as a business, what does it mean to do influencer marketing? That's a very important consideration for anybody who's starting a business, trying to grow a business, trying to create a brand, do sales, do marketing. So from all of those perspectives, what does it mean for a business? So those are the two main topics that we'll cover today, and I'll try to keep it very practical. Like if you're looking to get started, then what is it that you need to do? If you're already started and you're looking to kind of up the game and get to the next level, what are some of the considerations that you should make? That's kind of how I wanted to lay this out. So hopefully everybody gets to take away something useful from attending this session. Okay? And then we have a small exercise for everybody to do that will hopefully convert everybody into being an influencer. So we'll work that into the session as well. So that's the overview of what we'll do today. Okay? So let me get started. I'm gonna try not to overdo the PowerPoint. So I'll do a little bit of slides, and then I actually have a whiteboarding session so that it will be a little bit more interactive, and we can kind of talk through some of the concepts that on this topic. Okay? So with that, let me present my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. Is this coming up now? Is this?
Yes, it does.
Is this clear? If you can see
yes.
it this way?
Yes.
Okay. So let's play a quick game of Guess Who. Okay. So let's see if you can guess who these influencers are. So it's a person. He's a huge influencer on Instagram. He's born in Portugal. I've given it away with a he, but okay, so he was born in Portugal. He's a professional footballer, fewer women there, and he plays for Manchester United. Any guesses?
Ronaldo.
There you go. All right, so Cristiano Ronaldo, over 400 million followers. I think recently he's been the highest number of followers, beating Kim Kardashian and several other influencers there. So, okay, so well done. Good general knowledge there. So now next, YouTube, huge influencer here. The channel is from New Delhi. It's founded by Gulshan Kumar. It was formerly called Super Cassettes Industries Private Limited. It's known for music.
T-Series.
Yep, there you go, T-Series. Huge fight between T-Series and PewDiePie, for those of you who know who PewDiePie was. And then poor PewDiePie, he got beat out by T-Series, and then he got beat out by Baby Shark and some other nursery rhyme. And now I think, PewDiePie is further down in that chart. So it's it's a very fickle world of followers, unfortunately. Right? So yep, T-Series is the right answer. And another quick piece of trivia there. Do you know what the T stands for? Anybody? T-Series. So what does the T stand for?
Some god name.
That'll be a guess. Time maybe.
Time, yeah. Series and time, right? Yeah, that's a good guess. But yeah, I think it's the god name. I think kind of comes back into the whole Indian sphere a lot. So it stands for Trident or Trishul. So Trishul Trident series is what the T stands for. Okay, so with the T, let's go on to TikTok. I know it's not a big thing for us because unfortunately got banned, and those of you who had it before the ban may still be able to circumvent and VPN and IP address morph and get to it. But for most of the country, unfortunately, it's not an option. So here on TikTok, the big influencer, I'm going to try and keep the gender out of it this time. So born in Connecticut, competitive dancer. The person's father ran for Senate, and the mother was a model, maybe even a supermodel. And this was the first person to earn both 50 million and then later 100 million followers on TikTok. Any guesses who this is? Okay, I'll give it to you guys because we don't have TikTok. So it's Charlie D'Amelio. I think I'm saying that right. Charlie D'Amelio, competitive dancer, credited with one of those first kind of reaction kind of dance videos, lip syncing and dancing and mimicking somebody else's dance, and then got into a lot of controversy about taking credit for it. And then since then, she's actually been crediting the others, the originals, and a lot of people wonder why she's so popular. So it's a little bit of an enigma that she is actually one of the largest TikTok influencers. Well, that's what we have here. So next, let's come from all of the fun and entertainment to why we're here, which is career and networking and business and work. So on LinkedIn, the influencer, born in Seattle, studied at Harvard, co-founder of one of the largest software companies in the world, and co-chair of one of the largest charitable organizations in the world. Everybody needs to call this out.
Mr. G.
That's it. Bill Gates. 35 million followers when I last checked today. Maybe it's gone up already. I don't know. And one of the large followers on LinkedIn. So a little bit of game there, a warm up to get started. So hope that was fun and got you into the mood away from work and all the serious stuff and thinking about how can we get on a social media. So how can I get started? Okay. How can you get started? How do you get started as an individual who wants to be an influencer? And how do you get started with a business, using influencer marketing as a strategy for growing your business? So that's the topics that we'll cover next. Yeah. So I'll move over to a whiteboard. Please let me know if you can see this, if you can read it. If you'd like me to zoom in a little bit more, let me know, because I do want this to be something that's visible for you. Okay?
No, this is visible, Pallavi, but for the president and secretary, they are way past 40, so you might want to zoom in.
Yeah, thanks, Ravi.
Here.
இப்பவும் படிக்க
Can I
முடியல.
send you a telescope, Ravi?
This one?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
guys.
just good, Pallavi. Yeah, let's.
Yeah, because I'm sure there are people on small screens as well. You may be dialing in from a phone. So I hope that this translates. I'll talk through it as well. But just, I think it helps to have something to look at while I'm talking through things. Yeah. So really the first decision that needs to be made today is, are you listening to this as an individual or are you listening to this as a business? Okay. And this decision basically kind of impacts what you want to do about it. Yeah? So now if you are an individual, then basically the decision that you need to make is this a hobby for me or am I trying to do this professionally? Right? So you're an individual, you may have 0 to 50 followers, or you may have in that 100 to 500 follower range. Okay. If you have 0 followers, that means you don't have an account, right? So that's your first step. Go create an account. It's really simple. They make it super simple for you to do it. You may not even realize it. You may already have an account. Okay. So go sign up and it'll immediately tell you who to add. And you will, within minutes of signing up, this is India, we have 1 billion people, you're going to have 50 people following you. Okay. Now, if you're in that 50 stage, which is probably where a good chunk of people are, somewhere between 50 and 500, right? You've been kind of dabbling at it, you post occasionally, some people look at it, right? So if you're there, then that's when you kind of have to make a decision. Am I going to invest some time and effort in this? Do I want this to be something where I want to see more likes, more followers? Do I want to do that? Then what am I going to do about it? Okay. So then your decision is this a hobby and I want to do this as just something that's a distraction, a diversion, something that's fun and entertainment? Or am I going to actually do something about this that's professional? Am I going to promote myself? Am I going to promote an activity? Am I going to promote a side business? Am I going to promote my baking, my pets? Like, what am I going to do about this, right? So that's the first key decision that you need to make as an individual. Okay, is it a hobby, or are you trying to actually do something professional about it? Now, if you're a business and you're thinking about it from that sense, then the question that you need to answer to yourself is, what's my goal here? And the two main goals are, am I doing this for PR, right? Like just media and more awareness, or am I doing this to actually drive sales? Now, there may be other reasons as well. I'm just kind of calling out a key differentiation, and I'll get to the reasons why. It's basically around revenue, right? Like whether you're looking to measure and drive sales and revenue and ideally profitability with that, or you're looking at this as a growth metric, as something on driving just awareness, reaching new audiences. How do you want to think about it? So the approaches are different, and I think work differently. And if we are clear about the intent as we start, then it just makes it a little easier to measure. And at the end of the effort, we're happier about where we are, right? So we need to be aligned to our goals. We create a strategy to achieve those goals. We measure the progress, and then we look back and we see, okay, what worked, what didn't work, and then we're able to change the strategy going forward. So the first step for that is really deciding, where am I in this? What do I want to get out of it? Okay, so let me stop there. Any questions?
I do have
No,
one
seems quite
question.
clear. Yeah, go ahead, please.
So Pallavi, you've said for individuals, hobby or professional, and for business, PR or sales, right? So sometimes as an individual, you probably want to do both. You may have a professional side and you have a hobby side, right? So how do you sort of reconcile that? Do you have to just create multiple accounts, or wear these multiple hats? Because you want to have a professional side if you're on LinkedIn and post about all the business stuff that you have done. Perhaps on Instagram, you want to talk about the vacations that you took and glamorous pictures, right? So how do you kind of reconcile the avatars that you wanted to look at, or do you just go for this? This is my goal, and for this is my goal.
Yeah, that's a wonderful question, and one that I have seen several people grapple with. So to me, actually, the question behind that is, how much of yourself are you willing to share? That's a very key consideration, because in one thing with all of this with influencer marketing is consistency. Okay, we have to post consistently. If you leave a gap for days, weeks, months, then you kind of lost the connection with your friends, your followers, your audience. So the question to me is, how much are you willing to is any individual willing to share? To how much time and effort are you willing to put into this? How much bandwidth do you have to put into this? This is a key consideration in deciding that. The balance between where we draw our private life and where we draw our social life is very blurred. So going in, having a clear idea about, this is where I draw the line, right? I will not post about, or I will not post certain kinds of pictures, right? Like I may not like posting pictures about my children, or I may not like posting about my personal events, right? So having that distinction on what we want to post helps us figure out what is the topic that we actually want to communicate. The second is the audience. Okay? Now, there are multiple settings on all of these platforms. You can post to specific groups. If you are posting only to your family circle, or if you're posting only to your friend circle, that's almost the same as you sharing on a WhatsApp group, because there is no reach there. It's a direct communication that you are having with a group that is intimately close and familiar with you. That is not influencer marketing, and that is not social media at all. Social media is where you're posting to an open group, where because you're posting, other people are discovering about you. So that's where the distinction to me is, if you want to post your birthday celebrations, do you want the world to see it? If you're Ronaldo, then yes, he wants the world to see that he's had this amazing vacation, or he's had this huge win. Whereas there, as an individual, do we really want to share that we had we had a child's birthday and to complete strangers? So that's a key consideration. And the third one, which is what I started with, which is the frequency of posting. Yeah? The algorithms love people who post at regular intervals. They'd obviously like you to post more regularly than less. But realistically, what is a time frame that works for you? Is it once a day, twice a week, once in 2 weeks, once a month? What is the frequency that is sustainable for you as an individual? That is another consideration. So if you are looking to have work posts, then what is the schedule there? What is the goal there? Is the work post for you to be discovered by your entire network, right? Versus your personal post where you're like, oh, I went to Thailand, or I ate at this fancy restaurant. Then what's the point of that? Are you looking to who are you looking to communicate to? And what is the goal that anybody's looking to get out of that? That is the main decision. Now, there are professional posters who combine both, who post about their fantastic vacations, and because of that, they actually become influencers, and the hotel chains are willing to pay them money to post about their vacations. Now, if that is the goal, then the professional and the personal has kind of blurred there, right? Because the fact of taking a vacation is actually part of the professional work, and may appear like it's their personal life, but may not actually be. So, sorry, it's a long-winded answer to a very straightforward question. So I think to summarize, right, three questions, right? First is the personal professional boundary and how to define that. Second, the frequency of posting and what the goals out of that discovery are. Is it communication or is it discovery? Okay? And I know I said a third one, but I'm blanking out on that right now. Sorry about that. So that's how I think the difference should be sorted out.
Pallavi, it's Rajesh here. One question on, you mentioned the algorithms, right? One thing kind of some of us find puzzling is, if you take LinkedIn for an example, which gets used more as Facebook than LinkedIn most of the time. If somebody posts a picture of a cat or something, that tends to get, thousands or tens of thousands of views. If somebody writes a thoughtful piece on something, or posts a link to Medium or something, I've seen that it barely even registers a mention. So are we kind of better off just throwing in the towel and saying, okay, it's not going to work? It's really, the algorithms focus on virality, and they're not going to optimize for quality content, and you're better off running something on Medium or Substack versus trying to again generate some interest, audience, and community on build a community on LinkedIn. It's a long question, but I don't know.
Very relevant.
Thoughts on that?
Very, very relevant. Yeah. So let me just hold that thought and tell you what literally the next line of this chart that I'm drawing out is. Okay. So I'll talk from the business perspective, because I think that's where you asked from. So for businesses, right, if we are talking about PR or just kind of buzz generation as the goal, or driving sales as the goal, I'm literally just differentiating on whether you are trying a revenue target to your social media marketing budget. That's it. You're setting aside this many, hundreds, thousands of rupees, dollars for your social media marketing. Then what is the return that you're expecting on it? Okay, if you're expecting, put that in here. Okay, so if you're expecting to reach a target audience and actually generate traffic and conversion from your specific target audience, right? Because only then they're going to buy. Otherwise, they're not going to buy. They're just going to be like, oh, I didn't know a company like this existed. Haha, interesting, right? So if that's not your goal for sales, Your sales is you need to know, okay, this is my audience, men between this age and this age who own a car, who live here, who have a problem with this. Women and men who are in this age group, who do this kind of work, and this is the value prop that I'm offering to them. Now, you have to reach that level of segmentation and then be able to put out a message that appeals to that individual. Then that person will read, convert, and actually come into your site and then be able to convert into a sale. Okay? So a very, very specific target audience who cares about a problem, who's looking for a solution, and you're offering that solution to them. That traffic is what will give you conversion on sales. Yeah? So versus a PR exercise where you're essentially looking at expanding your audience. You've already got penetration in, let me make this up, right? Like school teachers. That might be your business. And so you're looking to attract school teachers to take loans from your loans platform. And you've got good penetration in the Chennai market, in the Tamil Nadu market, and you're looking to expand to teachers in South India. You're looking to expand to teachers all over India. Okay? So in that case, you have an established base, you've got the conversion there, but now from there, you're looking to reach a larger audience and be relevant to them. So if you have, once we've established that what is it that we're looking for from this post, are we looking for 60,000 views and 5,000 clicks and traffic coming in? Then yes, there are ways in which you can do that. The platform will work for it, and it'll just send you any traffic, right? But if you look at the conversions from that as to people who signed up or who added to a cart or who actually purchased, the conversion might be very bad. A lot of Facebook ads run into that problem. A lot of Google ads run into that problem because relevance and credibility is a huge issue. So it needs to be relevant to what I'm looking for. And I need to find the source credible. Like this merchant seems like they know, they're going to be giving me a good solution. So relevance and credibility is a problem there. And that's why you don't get the conversion, but you will get the buzz. You have achieved your goal of reaching a new audience and creating the impression in their mind about your brand, your name, your product, your value. Did that answer your question? Raj?
Okay, we'll take
Sorry,
the silence for a yes.
Yeah, I was speaking on. I was speaking on mute. Yes, it does. Yeah, I think, like I said, especially I use only LinkedIn, but it's a hard grind. Like I said, right? The algorithms have their own mind, and you're competing, like I said, against cats and dogs. So
I'm happy to have a conversation. I'm just being a little mindful of time, but I'm happy to
yeah. No, but I think
about
in general it answers the question. Yeah, in general it answers the question. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the individuals portion of this. I'm trying to get my notes in order. Okay. So coming to the individuals, right? So here, okay. So for individuals, if you're a hobbyist, then you're looking at your goals of essentially increasing your followers, increasing your likes, right? So you're posting something, you want people to read it, engage with it, like it, love it, think about it, heart it. And ideally you want them to click on that follow button, subscribe button, right? Like every time you watch a YouTube video, follow pannunga, like pannunga, subscribe pannunga, right? Like they always urge you to do that. So the big monetization there, the big incentive there is about increasing the likes and increasing the followers. Yeah? Whereas once you actually decide to get professional, likes and followers is the obvious visible metric. But as an individual who wants to do this professionally, what you care about is the fees that you're able to charge. There are now tiers for nano influencers. These are people under 5,000 followers. Micro influencers, the next segment, which is, I believe, like 5,000 to 15,000. and then goes on, right? Like you work out deca, mega, million, mega, right? All of those tiers which have been created for segmenting the number of followers that an influencer has. Yeah? So if you are in that 5 to 500 in followers category, then you're actually in a very good place. So again, pop quiz. Who do you think is, on an average, if you look at that segment, right? Obviously, the big names can charge like a lot of money for a post. But if you look at a segment between the nano, the less than 5,000, the micro, the mega, and the million followers, which segment do you think gets the maximum set of offers from brands and gets kind of the best rate of compensation per post? Is it the nano, the micro, the mega, the million?
Okay, Praveen here. I think it is mega, but it should be nano.
You are absolutely right. It is actually nano. The latest data that's come out of some of the influencer platforms show that nano influencers actually make more money on a per post basis, on a per engagement basis. They get more offers. They get more better deals because they actually sign longer deal programs, and they are able to monetize more with lesser spend, right? So it's also how much you have to spend in order to get your post, maintain the public profile, the army of people that you need behind you to make this happen. So the nano influencers actually have far higher engagement rate with their followers. They are able to generate posts quickly. It seems more authentic, so they're seen as far more credible. So, and hence the influence actually works to convince the viewer to take the action that the influencer is talking about. Which is ultimately what you want. You want the influencer to say, அந்த கடைக்கு போங்க ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கு அந்த கடையில வாங்குங்க, it's very good. You want them to say that, and you want the person who's listening to actually believe it. So if my mother told my aunt அந்த புடவை கடைக்கு போனா புடவை is very nice, my aunt is going to believe her 100%. And that's, nano influencing. So that's the most lucrative because the conversion there is very high. And so nano influencers are very powerful segment. So yes, Praveen, you're absolutely spot on there. Yeah? So if you are a hobbyist, okay, then it needs to be about passion. So going back to Soumya's question. So the passion that you have about a topic is what will drive you to post authentically, to post frequently, and for the people who are following you to consider you as an expert. Right? So this is what will lead to you to me or I and you as an individual to actually be able to get out of that, okay, I'm just kind of, dipping my toes into this, into, okay, I'm actually going to start posting regularly. So passion is a very important aspect of being a hobby influencer. Okay. Now, as you develop your hobby, that's how you also bring in the expertise. So the difference between being a hobbyist and a professional is the level of expertise that you're able to bring into the topic. Now, if you're a neurosurgeon and you're posting about, the latest research or the latest pharma, then yeah, so that goes from a hobby posting where I'm saying, oh, I like these different articles, I like these different posts, to, okay, now I'm actually going to have an opinion about it, I'm going to comment about it, and then third saying, okay, you know what, this is what I think, I'm going to call the BS. This is accurate, this is novel, this is new, or being really controversial and actually being able to criticize or point out things that you disagree with. So the expertise makes you a professional and gets you closer towards establishing a user base. Now, moving on to the businesses, I'm trying to balance between the individuals and the businesses in the time that we have here. So again, in the businesses, looking at PR, which is looking to create the buzz, you're looking to create new audience views. So here, what is the goal? Your content essentially needs to explain what your business is doing, what is new or what is different. Why does the reader care about what you're presenting to them? Right? Like, so they explain the what and the how of the business in a way that appeals to this new audience. So that's the focus of the content that you're generating and you're putting out in your posts as businesses looking for PR. Versus business who are looking for sales, what you need to be putting out is convince the reader why they need to take action right now. Because you've already honed in on the fact that this is a relevant audience, that they have a problem that you have a solution for. So you need them to take an action. And so the content needs to be around now. There's a sale, there's an offer, there's a new feature, there's an early beta, there's a sign up now, there's something happening, there's an event. You do this, you get something else free. There's a packaging, a layering, something that's going on within a time bound constraint, which is an impetus for the reader to take action. So the content that you're putting out as a business, the content that you're asking, content you're asking your influencers to put out on this, the content that you're putting out through your accounts need to convince the reader why they need to take action right now. So I think I should make that differentiation very clear as well here. So really, so for individuals and for business, the difference is really, as an individual, you're a creator, and as a business, you're a director. Right? So the individuals are creating the content that goes out in all of these platforms. As a business, you have to think about it as you're conducting the orchestra, right? You have all these different channels that are running around. What is the strategy that you're undertaking, and how are you directing the social media managers or your marketing team or the digital agencies you're working with? How are you directing them to achieve your goals? And these can be through variety of content that can get generated. It is, primarily text, image, and video. Could be all three. It could be any one of these. Do I get rid of this? Could be any one of these. But making that decision becomes very critical. So the next step is really understanding, okay, so this is where I am. This is what I want to achieve. Okay, now in order to do that, this is the steps I need to take. Now, what is the content that's going to work for me? Am I comfortable creating text? Then am I going towards blog posts, Reddit, Quora? Like, am I thinking about this as a content heavy piece, like a Medium article that Raj mentioned? Am I thinking about it as images, photographs, and I'm taking pictures, tell a thousand stories, 1,000 words? I'm missing that quote there. So am I going with the Instagram driven picture culture? Or am I going with video, which is the YouTube, TikTok, etc. world? So what is the medium that's going to be most effective for me? And then you have to commit to that, right? You actually have to commit towards a roadmap of generating content, putting content out, which will have the continuity and tell the story that will achieve your goals. So understanding the role that you play in this is the next critical step. How are we doing on time? Are we okay? Can I continue?
Yes, Pallavi, no problem.
Okay, all right. So the next step here, so actually let me quickly summarize what we've spoken about so far, right? So the first step here, influencer marketing, the first decision that we've made is whether it's for you as an individual or you as a business. It can be both in parallel, but it's important to understand what you're trying to do where and what the goals are for that. So you could be both a hobbyist for your personal life and have a sales strategy for your company. So both are possible from the same person, and we'll get into the platform pieces next. But just that having this idea is critical. So what is our goal, right? That we are having a hobby or a professional PR sales. That's the first decision that we need to make. Okay, let me make that red. So that's our goal. Now the second is our main focus area. So what is it that we're going to focus on to as we go through and decide our social media strategy? Yes, followers and likes, is that sufficient for us? Are we looking to make money out of this? Are we looking to get new audience views? Are we looking to actually get sales out of this? Yeah, so what is our focus, and what outcome are we looking at? And the third is, what is the main topic that we're going to put out on our posts? Is it going to be about something we're passionate about? Is it something that we have expertise in? Looking to explain what and how our business does, and convince the readers why they need to take action now. So the main kind of topic that will be covered in the social media posts. Okay? And then we have the role that we are each playing, and then the primary mode of content creation. Are we looking at text, image, video? What is it that we are committing towards creating and putting out there? So now we come to the consideration of platform. Yeah. So let's talk about platform. Yeah. So one question that I've received several times is Facebook still relevant? Everybody saw something minor happen to their stock last week. Apparently it didn't do very well. I'm kidding. Okay. Massive stock market correction. They came out stating that their growth was not as expected. They lost. For the first time, they have reported a lower lower number of active users in North America, which is their most important market. And they have also reported that they are unhappy with the new account generation on the Facebook platform, not WhatsApp, on the Facebook platform in India. So one of the questions that I've received is Facebook still relevant? Yeah. So my answer to that again goes back to what you're looking for. If you're looking to engage with specific communities, if you're looking to establish yourself as an expert, if you're new to a specific area, if you're looking for geolocation based network, then Facebook is still relevant. If you're looking for specific audience groups, right, especially the 25 plus audience group, then yes, Facebook is still relevant. The larger trends of moving away from Facebook do exist, but we're not yet ready to write off Facebook in 2022. Let's see what happens in 2023. So Facebook is still relevant. If anybody had that question, yeah. So the main platforms that anybody should consider and any company should consider are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Okay. So I've left TikTok out again for obvious reasons, since we don't have access to it in India. For where it is available, it is definitely a very huge platform player and one that should be considered. But for the sake of this discussion, I've left it out. Yeah. So here, I'm kind of running out of space on my whiteboard a little, so I'm just gonna zoom out a little. And what I'm essentially trying to do is get everybody to fill this out, okay, from a perspective of where they see themselves. Okay. So if you see yourself as a hobbyist, then you need to go through and understand, if I am committing to creating text, then where do I fit in? So if you're looking to drive with text and you're not too comfortable with video, then obviously it removes a couple of these out of the way. Right? If you're looking to lead with image, then that again kind of leads you towards certain platforms. So look at your goals. Okay, where do you stand in this matrix, and fill out where you think this makes sense for you. I was hoping to actually do it as an exercise, but I don't think we'll have enough time here, and I have just a couple of more things to discuss, and I'd like to open it up for questions as well. So I don't think we have time for that. So I'll end with this last topic here, which is once you've got this platform, the key thing that you need to do is look at success metrics. And I will zoom this in again. This is too small by any measure. Come on. Okay. So we need to look at success metrics. And again, for hobbyists, let me bring this down. Let me put this here. Okay. So as a hobbyist, I think being able to rely on standard analytics will give you sufficient level of I think I know how to use a mouse by now. So standard analytics is sufficient. These are, Facebook Manager, Facebook Business Manager, if you've already got that integration going, LinkedIn dashboard, right? Like there's a lot of these standard analytics that every platform provides, which I think is a great starting point. Once you come to being a professional, okay, then you need to be able to measure and publish what is called your engagement rate. Okay, and engagement rate, this is the formula here, is number of likes, clicks, reactions, and comments divided by the total number of followers. So this engagement rate is a key indicator that any professional, any brand manager, any marketing manager will ask you if you're looking to be a professional influencer and you're expecting to get paid. So make sure you measure your post performance. Make sure that you keep a record of your post performance and that you publish your engagement rate. The more transparent you are about this, the more convinced the brands are going to be about trusting you as a influencer. So this is a key measurement, and this gives you a sense of how your posts are doing, and it also gives the brand manager a clear sense of where you are. Now, as a business, once you're looking to use this for PR purposes, then we have the Facebook Business Manager, we have the Instagram Business Manager tools, we have various analytics boards on each of these platforms. And there are clear ways in which we're able to segment the audience and understand the performance and engagement with our posts. So this is a whole topic by itself because each platform has made it quite powerful. You get a lot of stuff, but it can also be very overwhelming very quickly. But there is enough there, and there's a lot of stuff that you can look at. And then finally, if you're looking at sales, come on. Okay. All right. So if you're looking at driving sales, then this is a very clear funnel-based calculation that has to be built into the system and monitored and checked regularly. So we start with the search engine click-throughs or the post-based click-throughs that come through to the site. We look at website traffic, the sources of the website traffic. We look at shopping cart initiation, drop-off and completion rates, and then finally at the payment completion that happens on the site. So assuming you're e-commerce or you're looking at app downloads or you're looking at signups, it changes a little, but ultimately, what is the post view? What is the post click through? What is the redirection from the site? What is the or they could have seen it on the post and then searched and come to your site. Ultimately, a time-based correlation between the posting frequency and the traffic that you're seeing on your site or on your app download. And from there, what is the stickiness of that traffic? So if you're looking at, there are now sophisticated ways of doing even individual based tracking. So what has been the path of this individual? If they downloaded it, did they actually open it and use the app, or did they delete it? Versus, did they come to the website? Did they just browse and leave? Did they browse ad and leave? Did they browse ad buy and did the payment go through, and did the transaction actually complete? So being able to measure the entire funnel is the first step, and then being able to optimize it. So this is the full cycle that you need to think through in terms of social media marketing. And this is kind of a framework that should help you think about it from your perspective as an individual or as a business. I will end here and actually come back to my Google Slides. Okay. And so that's an overview of how you could get started. And while I take a deep breath, and everybody is wrapping their head around the various concepts that I've laid out, one question that might be running in your mind is there an easier option? Do I have to do all of this as an individual, as a business? What's some shortcuts? Pallavi, can you help us with some shortcuts? Yeah. And that's one of the things that we do at Impressed. We help people manage this a little better. I have Kritik from my team on this call. Kritik, this is a good time to put the link on this, please.
Sure, Pallavi.
There are some questions. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I will come back to this, but let's just do this one small exercise. So if all of you could just click on that link, you can open it from your laptop or from your PC. It should work on both. If it doesn't work, let us know. It'll be great feedback to have, but it should work. So step one, please click on the link in the chat window. If anybody has problems with it, let us know. I'm assuming that should have gone through. It should open a new tab or a new browser window for you, and it should show you a question with some answer choices. Please go ahead and pick on whatever option makes sense for you. You should have 3 questions, and all of them multiple choice. So if you could just go ahead and click on those answers there. And voila, you should have been able to create a post instantly. If you're on the create a post page, go ahead and share on LinkedIn. You should be able to click the button, and it should be redirecting you to your LinkedIn account. And you can just go ahead and click share right there. And it's going up on your account, and it's going to just say good stuff about the SVC Alumni Association, which I'm hoping Soumya Praveen will be happy to see. And it helps all of us here in raising the bar about SVC just one more step. So that's our first step in being able to put out a social media post and support a brand, support an institution that we belong to. All right, anybody facing any troubles with that? We are a small company, we're just starting out. We have, our product is in beta. So thank you very much, everybody, for your support and for trying that out. And we're looking forward to the SVC Alumni Association getting a bunch of LinkedIn mentions today. Okay, so I'm going to look. Any questions? Anybody? Any feedback on that flow?
Hey, sorry, but recently I've been having some technical difficulties due to network issues, nothing related to your app, your stuff. So, sorry, I'll probably try. I've saved the link, so hopefully I can do that when I get a better connection.
All
Praveen,
right.
yeah, I loved it. It was smooth, made it easy. And as a professional speaker, I'm going to reach out to you to see how we can handle that for some of my talks. Thank you.
Absolutely, we'd love to do that. We have a growing list of businesses that have started using us, and so yeah, we'd love to engage with anybody here. So 3 clicks and 30 seconds, and you create a post, a visual post with a picture and a narrative description about the event, the product, the service, the company, the brand. We have and we prompt your customer to post and share about their experience. So we believe in the value proposition that a satisfied customer is the strongest influencer. If you have a client, a customer who is happy, who's satisfied, getting them to post about that happiness and satisfaction is enormously time consuming and difficult. I, as an individual, I would have gone to a restaurant, I would have loved it. They will tell me, please post about it. And I will be very happy to tell them that, yes, I love the food. But for me to actually go post about it, that takes another level of effort. And that's what we are trying to solve through Impressed. We're trying to make it very, very easy for businesses to get more positive posts. The angry ones will always post. The unhappy ones will always post. The people who are not satisfied will always post. But the people who are happy, who are satisfied, who are like, yes, I had a good time, they don't want to post at all. And that's a huge problem that a lot of businesses face. That's what Impressed is trying to solve. We're trying to make it easier for companies to have their happy and satisfied customers very easily, quickly, instantly post about their experience.
Fantastic, Pallavi. It was really very interesting and informative session that you conducted, and I especially loved how you engaged with the audience and made us think through. And your whiteboarding session was very, very informative. Good, fantastic. Anybody else who wants to jump in and say thanks to Pallavi for doing this session, or any feedback that you have on the ProConnect sessions, please feel free to jump in.
So, Soumya, will there be a recording? Sorry, I overslept and I joined in the last 10 minutes, but I will definitely go through the recording.
Thank you. Yeah, the recording will be available and Kausala will be posting it
Thank
shortly.
you.
Yeah.
No, I think just to echo what Soumya said, I think presentation was very concise, very succinct, and storytelling was great. And yeah, do let us know how we can continue to help Impressed in your journey. So happy to sign up as beta customers or anything if that's an option.
Yeah, it's absolutely an option. Impressed.com, that's our website. Kritik, if you could put that onto the chat window, please. We are open for speaking with everybody and understanding what are the specific needs of your business. We have a highly scalable and customizable platform. That's the whole value prop, that it needs to ultimately be of value to your business. Your customers need to be posting about your business, and they need to be saying the things that matter to your business. So we actually understand what are the kinds of things that you want your customers to say. Otherwise, the customers just go and they say, good, very good, good time, which is great. I'm glad that they're saying that, but I would really like for them to say something a little bit more descriptive. So we understand what are the kind of descriptions that work for your business to promote your business, and we make sure that our platform is customized to achieve those goals. So there were a few questions on the chat message. I don't know if I got to this in the session. Should I just very quickly go through that? I know we're a minute over time.
No, please go ahead and answer those. I'm sure everyone probably benefit.
Okay, thanks, Sanjeev. So Praveen Shekhar has asked, a learning consistency is key. how much time and effort are you willing to put into this? Okay, yes, that's a key learning for me as well, and for the company. And so being as an individual, that's why it's one of the first things that we recommend everybody to think about. What is your time and effort commitment? It's difficult to create content, to quality check it and get it out. So the time and effort needed for doing that and for doing it regularly is a very key consideration before you start down this path, or as you go through this path. Pavitra Srinivasan, the question is, why do Facebook ads drive clicks but not conversions? Yes, exactly, Pavitra. It's a great point. And that really is, first around segmentation and second around credibility. So one, we are largely, as consumers, as users of the platform, we are very hugely dependent on who the segmentation that Facebook gives us. We have very little visibility into whether they are actually showing the ad to who we want them to show the ad to. The parameters that they put out is what we need to accept and hope that that's the right person who's actually seeing the. So that's one piece of the problem. The second half of the problem is, even if it does reach the person, then they come to the site. What is the credibility of the site? So again, the my mother recommending a sari shop to my aunt, and the 100% credibility in that, versus 5 different ads just popping at me and chasing me from my newspaper to my news website to my YouTube to my the next site that I'm going to. That doesn't give me a sense of credibility. So how credible the source is who's giving that recommendation matters. So when somebody sees a post from a friend saying, I bought this Wi-Fi router and it works really well for me, versus a Wi-Fi router ad. So Pavitra, if you tell me that you bought an amazing mesh router for your office and it has solved all the Wi-Fi problems that your team was facing, I'm going to make a note of that and say, you know what, mesh router, that's the make. I need to go check this out. And I will go and check that out and upgrade my system. So that credibility comes because somebody in your network is promoting or recommending or sharing their experience with this product or service. And that's what makes the difference between traffic and conversion. Raj Ramanathan asks, what is a good advice, good strategy for a new teen who is starting the influencer desire after she has scrolled through 100 plus hours on YouTube or TikTok? Okay, great. So Raj, I think maybe most of the session was about that, right? So really it's like, where do they fit? Hobbyist, professional? And how much time are they willing to invest? And what is the topic that they're actually passionate about? So if they're a teenager, then it's a huge audience, right? Like I think I have two children, one a bona fide teenager and the other is a teenager who's coming into the teenage, and both of them they spend hours watching other kids play Minecraft, other kids play League of Legends, other kids play video games. And I tell them, நீங்க விளையாடுறதே என்னால தாங்க முடியல, நீங்க மத்தவங்க விளையாடுறத வேற பாக்குறீங்களா? Like what is happening here? Like I'd much rather them play than they sit and watch other kids play and comment about it. But that's what happens in my house every day. And some of these YouTube gamers, they've all grown up with this culture, and they're all now mostly boys, but some girls as well, in their 20s, late 20s, 30s, who are all playing video games, taking videos, putting it out, and 70 million followers, and it's insane, right? So yeah, so there's a lot of interest in this space, and I think it ultimately comes down to passion, production quality, like video. The challenge is production quality, editing, narration, and then actually being able to understand what is the video length that works for your target audience. as engagement grows, the video length can increase. But initially, what is the video length? Is it sub 1 minute? Is it sub 5 minute? Is it 10 minute, 20 minute? What is the video length that is able to increase your engagement rate? Measuring that and then being able to work towards increasing follower count, increasing engagement and increasing engagement rate, and then increasing the video length, because as you increase video length, your value on YouTube goes up. Whereas on TikTok, it's all about shorts and reels. So being able to manage onto the platform is critical. I hope I was able to answer that question. Yes, I will share this whiteboard. I just was drawing something. I'll actually take it back, and I have very talented designers on my team who will be able to make this look better than what I did. I'll ask them to work through that, and then I will send it out to everybody here. Thank you. Thank you, Vilango. Thank you, Praveen. Thank you, Naveen. It's wonderful. I'm really happy you liked the session. Thank you. Thank you, Dinesh. Thank you, Abhishek, Anand. Dinesh asks, is Impressed only focusing on influencer marketing or other marketing strategies like email marketing, web app personalization, etc.? Right now, we are focused on influencer marketing, direct to consumer marketing, and referral marketing. Those are the three main focal areas. But we do these through email, SMS, and WhatsApp. So the goal is that we're able to drive views, traffic, and conversion. And the way that we are able to reach out to your customers, like how we gave you the link in the chat window, we can engage with your customer base in whatever manner works for your business. So if you have an email ID, then we can do that through email marketing. If you have a phone number, then we can do it through email, SMS, or WhatsApp. And then we're also looking to expand into other messenger platforms to be able to essentially reach out to the customers and convince them and make it easy for them to post. I think those were all the questions in the chat window. Anything else from any other question?
I guess you got them all then. So I'll just have one word for you: impressed.
Thank you, Sanjeev. It means a lot, especially coming from a classmate. So yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, I see several classmates here. Really appreciate the show of support. Thank you, everybody. I hope this session was useful. I love coffee, and there are several new cafes in town. So always happy to grab a cup of coffee anytime and talk more about your business or about marketing.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Pallavi. Again, once again, really appreciate you taking the time for doing something for the Alumni Association and bringing this group of people together. It's always really good to connect back with our old classmates and the people that we went to college with. Thank you so much for doing this. It was a wonderful session. Learned a lot, and yeah, let's catch up for coffee one of these days. Yeah, I think we've got to do that.
Absolutely.
Thanks again. And also a huge thanks to everybody who took time off on a Friday evening and showed up for a PROCONNECT session. We run this every couple of weeks and we try to bring in really expert speakers, all from our alumni community on these sessions. So please do look out for our future posts and join us for future sessions. But thank you so much for showing up on a Friday evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye, guys.